Hello, I'm Jessica. I'm a makeup artist, and today I'm going to show you my day-to-day makeup routine. I predominantly work in fashion, and my focus is always beautiful skin that looks like skin. I was really lucky early on in my career because I worked with a photographer who said, I don't want to see any foundation, any concealer on the skin. And I was thinking, oh, okay, but that's all I know how to do. Because I'm self-taught and I've had terrible skin for as long as I can remember. So my focus has always been cover, 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 cover. And that was really my understanding of makeup. So I had to learn that day how to make the skin look as beautiful as possible without using makeup. And that's something that is really, I think, has carried my career because you don't need a load of makeup. But if you have bad skin, the prospect of a natural beauty look is an absolute nightmare. I know. When I was a teenager, people would say to me, like, is that a cigarette burn? And I'd be like, no. Or like, oh, chin, hormonal. And I'd be like, I know. So I wanted to share some tips with you today from somebody that's long had to cover their skin, but someone that's learned how to do it in a natural way. So I've just had a bath. My face has been cleaned in the bath and my hands washed just before I walked over to this phone, but always sanitize first. As I'm sure you know, any kind of inflammation on the skin will become infinitely angrier by putting bacteria in there. And as you can probably see, I had a breakout a week or so ago, and my skin is healing, but it's at the point where it's kind of starting to flake a little bit. And years ago, or maybe a year or so ago, these were all new lessons, always learning, I would have scraped that off and I would have been like, spot cream, dry it out, which actually I've learned now just makes the skin so furious and cracked and horrible. But I think you really need to focus on nourishing the skin and being as gentle as possible. I also used to use like a million different products, and actually I've learned that stripping back to something really quite basic suits me much better, and I think suits most people with acneic skin quite a lot better as well. So, clean hands. And no, I prefer to use my hands to apply the makeup because your brushes, unless you can be bothered to wash them every time you use them, are going to carry bacteria. And there are times, like if I'm going out, I'll use a brush and I'll get a kind of really polished foundation look. But day to day, I prefer to just use my fingers. And I prefer as well, this is Bioderma Micellar Water. So whilst I have cleaned my face, who knows what kind of bacteria I could have picked up on the walk here from the bathroom to my phone. But I just always prefer to start with as clean of a base as possible. So a swipe of that. Lip balm. This is actually lanolin nipple balm. So it isn't vegan, a note, but it is the best lip balm I've used. And I think this is about £10 and it lasts ages. Also, I had a little bit of eczema under my eyes. I don't know what I reacted to, but I used some of that and it healed it within a couple of days. So, any makeup, the base is essential. But especially if you're working with texture, we want the skin to be as smooth as possible. I'm going to use 47 Anti-Blemish Serum. Now this has got something in it called silver chitosan. And you may or may not know, but silver has got amazing antibacterial and healing properties. Well, it feels really lovely and light, but actually is amazingly hydrating and keeps your skin... Sorry, I should have shown you. So if you see here, it's kind of quite a milky texture, which you might not think would be that hydrating, but it feels really beautiful and it gives you a really nice base for your makeup. Let's get those chins in there. So I start at the center, sweep up, sweep up, sweep up, a little massage. And I really try and take my time with this because I think this is when you can really bring your face to life. And that is really what makes the most difference and what gives you the glow. See now, my skin is looking, I think, a lot healthier. Okay, there is still a bit textured. So this product, my mum introduced me to when I was a teenager. It's absolutely amazing. It's called Instant Smooth Perfecting Touch from Clarins. You'll note here I've got a little spatula, and that's just so I don't dip in any bacteria into the pot. And this is a smoothing base. So these scars you can see are flat, but these are still healing. So they've got kind of a little scab over them. So I just dab a little bit of this over to create as smooth a base as possible for my concealer. This Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage. Oh, there's a little reflection of my window. I read about, I think InStyle used to do this like top 100 beauty awards, and I was obsessed with it. And this was one of the products that's in there. Now I've had friends say, I can see here, look, two different shades, and I've recommended it to so many people, and I do have friends come back and say, yeah, it's really dry, but I think that's because their skin isn't very well prepped. So you always want to add in moisture, and then the warmth of your fingers will really help the concealer to meld into the skin. So I start with underneath my eyes, and product on one finger, that's actually looking a little orange for me. But tapping in really helps to meld it into the skin. Now, when it comes to blemishes, I try and do a concentrated application. So tap, and then tap around, and keep on tapping. Redness here. So what I want to avoid is basically creating a mask. So I apply the concealer where it's needed, and with some stubborn spots, you just have to keep going back over and back over until you get it. Okay. That to me is looking better. I do need to swap down a shade though, because this is a little summer glow that I don't quite have anymore. There, I think my skin looks a lot more even than before, but I don't think it looks like a mask. Next, I love a cream blush. This one's from Ilia, beautiful natural brand. So just do a little sweep, and then again, using my fingers, just tap it in. I find using a cream blush keeps the texture nice and glowy. These are absolutely iconic. Surratt Beauty eyelash curlers. Quick squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Maybe a double squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. So you can see, I'm just looking at my skin now closer up, and you can still see that my skin has got scarring and that I have blemishes, but I'm trying to learn that that's just okay. Okay, look, I love these colours. So I don't use mascara day to day because frankly, I can't be bothered to take it off. So I use those instead. I find them to be lovely and eye-opening. Now this is so old you can't even see that it's Glossier. but I just do a quick swipe through the brows. And I actually prefer this product when it's really old. Not really old, but older, because it's drier. So if this is a new one, I would always just swipe off any excess so you don't end up with huge clumps. And then to finish, I use any kind of balm as a highlighter. Try and avoid petroleum because I find that really clogs the skin up. This is Chanel's balm, highlighting balm. And I just tap, tap, tap. Sometimes a little bit in the corner. So that, I think, that's my day to day. I feel a lot more comfortable than I did without the makeup. And I think I look a bit healthier. I really hope these tips help. And if you have any questions, please do get in touch because I would really like to help.